right. Got the excuse me, I'm sick. I got the cold, medicine, all that stuff going on here. But sitting there in my, sickness, deliriousness, it got me thinking. I was starting to think about some of the things that I did way back in the day when I started kind of jumping outside the box, so to speak. And what was happening is some of the best players I've seen out there, friends of mine, that were live or whatever, every once in a while they jump into like they'd be in a perfect chord progression, right? And every once in a while they jump into something completely outside and crazy, and then resolve it back to the chord progression. The concept is they're kind of like, oh screw it, I'm just gonna go for it because I already had like 6 beers and I don't care, and all of a sudden that would be like a brilliant moment, right? So, uh, which also related a lot to how they spent their life at bar closed. So the way I look at guitar playing is like women. Sometimes if you just say screw it, I'm gonna go for it. Sometimes at bar close you end up with something real nice and pretty sounding. Sometimes you're just like, oh my god, that was a big mistake. Same applies with this stuff. So where I'm going to go with this quickly here is essentially what I'm trying to say is I'd start out with an arpeggiated type of thing like this. Now, normally, to stay in what I would normally do, especially if I'm in, like an A minor, C major, whatever, it doesn't matter, move it up, change keys, who cares, right? Just, right? I would go into this, right? But what I'm suggesting is just drop it down a half step. Just go for it, okay? Drop it down a half step, maybe even change the whole fingering, right? Which technically it's going to reassign the key. But if you're thinking that you want to resolve it back to the same key, you can get a really interesting sound. So where I'm going with this is instead of doing this, do this. And play with the fingering, do some pivoting, whatever you got to do to make it sound good. So the idea would be, sorry, that was just terrible. But you get the idea. Something I figured out a long time ago, and since YouTube, a lot of people have been saying the same thing, which is really neat because I just kind of stumbled across it one day myself when I was like 17. But basically, you're always a half step away from hitting the right note, generally speaking. So with that concept is how I look at it is if I want to add drama, I'll purposely go up or down a half step, right? Throw my drama in, and then bounce back up, and I'm back, back in my, perfect little, arrangement world, right? So just try to keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to just jump out a half step and then jump back in again. Just kind of step out of the lane and step back in again. Get a little risky, and overall it'll sound better. For me, anyways, if you want to be a little more exotic. All right. So if you end up watching this when you're deployed, better start practicing it. Other than that, for now, practice it for now, and then I'll talk to you later. And hi to everybody else. Bye.